A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, is useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
This is the beginning of meditation.
Most of us would have rather money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original event. This is a disaster. For as a result of confusing the real world of nature with mere science, we are destroying nature. We are so tied up in our minds that we've lost our senses. Time to wake up. What is reality? Obviously, no one can say because it isn't words. It isn't material, that's just an idea. Reality is
The point cannot be explained in words. I'm not trying to put you down. It's an expression of you as you are. One must live. We need to survive, to go on. We must go on.
Something that'll love me even when I'm wrong. I made something that'll love me even with my faults. Fell in love with the machine, fell in love with you. Baby, when we touch, feels like you are meant to take all my love. Something about you, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Fell in love with the machine, fell in love with you. Baby, when we touch, feels like you are meant to take all my love, all of my love. Something about you, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Fell in love with the machine, fell in love with you. I designed you with a mind to understand my thoughts. I designed you, I refined you to be what I want, and I want you. Baby, when we touch, feels like you are meant to take all my love. Something about you, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Fell in love with the machine, fell in love with you. Baby, when we touch, feels like you are meant to take all my love, all of my love. Something about you, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Fell in love with the machine, fell in love with you.
What is going on, everyone? How are we doing? Welcome on into Special Media. My name's Special Ed, and tonight we got some great racing action coming at us here with the MXL crew for the MXBGP series, the Pro-Am class. Super excited to be getting into it here tonight. So we got a lot of great racing action coming at you here. Obviously, 2-moto format. And a lot of riders going to be in here. 40-man gate is going to be on the line here for us tonight at round number 2 in Sardegna. Going to be a crazy one, though. Super excited to be getting into it. Appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out with us, and signing up for this race. I know I've had a lot of craziness going on between the Pro-Am class just recently, but appreciate everybody staying tuned with us, jumping on board with the MXL crew. These guys do such a fantastic job when it comes to running all of these series. So huge shout out to the man Rico running the whole thing and getting it all together. As you guys already know or may not know, tomorrow we are going to be running an amateur class as well. And definitely going to want to make sure if you guys didn't qualify in here today, that you guys are staying tuned and getting signed up for tomorrow. Same track, I believe same times and everything. So going to be a really cool one. As always, though, we are getting ready to get our main events up here. Does look like we have that up. So if you guys are in that main event, make sure you guys are joining up on that one. MXB Carnage, how are we doing, brother? Welcome on in. And as you guys probably already know, if you're a returning fan here in Special Media, always like to do a huge shout out to everybody that makes all of this possible. Obviously, the MXL crew, those guys do such a fantastic job. The aerial MXL combination alongside with FXR, those guys have been doing a lot of cool stuff. Same thing with Rival Inc. over on the MXL side. Those guys kill it. As well on the Special Media side, MXL being one of the main sponsors of Special Media. So huge shout out to those guys. TPR, Toasty, and the whole crew. Huge shout out to all of those guys. AB Customs, the man Bryce himself, has been away from the game a little bit, trying to get back into it though. So make sure you guys are checking out AB Customs Discord if you're looking for any custom gear, boots, helmets, whatever it may be. Make sure you guys are hitting him up. Dean, the man with Speed Photography, has not been in it very often, been busy with work, but always appreciate all the help that he does for us. And just being a homie of the crew. And then leading us in to a couple of the other ones here, VM Visuals, Eltrix. If you guys haven't seen some of his work, his renders, his 3D modeling, his graphics, You guys are looking at it. The booth that we are in here, all done by Eltrix right in his 3D modeling. All the overlays, the podiums, everything that you guys see across the whole thing, all right there and done by the man Eltrix. And then last but not least, on the far side screen there, Club MX practice facility, training facility, however you want to call it, out there in Chesterfield, South Carolina. Those guys do an absolutely fantastic job and really have been a kind of an underdog in the supercross, motocross world. Kind of doing what a lot of people, I don't think, thought they were going to be able to do. And just really proving that the trainers, the facilities, and everybody around the entire, just the entire organization really coming together and putting in such a fantastic show. So definitely huge shout out to the Club MX guys. Huge shout out to Mike Bonacci. He is the one that got the connection made. He has been doing a fantastic job over there. So huge shout out to Mike, as well as everybody else on that team. And that is going to do it for the sponsors here so far. So we are getting ready to get rolling into our racing action, making sure we get whitelisted here and get into the racing, as we are going to be diving right into race number 1. So give us just a second here as we start to get things dialed in. If you guys are new to Special Media, welcome on in. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for all the racing action that we got coming up. We primarily do a lot of the pro-am and amateur side of the MX bikes world. Are trying to get our foot in the door in some of the pro stuff. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. We're still climbing towards that 1,000 mark of followers at 871 so far. So you guys have been absolutely killing it lately. If you got the means, appreciate every single sub that you guys donate, or even just yourself dodging some of those ads. Huge shout out to you guys and appreciate each and every one of you if you got the means to do so. Seeing a couple followers roll through as well. I do apologize. My follower count or my follower notification is not working well. So I'm trying to read off this tiny little screen. So if I miss anybody, once again, appreciate all of the follows. And like I said, I just saw one pop up there, completely missed it. But as always, huge shout out to you guys. And once again, just trying to get loaded on in. Got a lot of people in this race for us here tonight. So definitely might be a little laggy. So just kind of hang with us. Taking a look. MXB Carnage. Great. Can't wait to see the riders on the track tonight. Yes, sir. Do we have any drivers in mind who could win tonight? It's an interesting one. There's a lot of guys in here that could win. These guys are unbelievably fast. Every time we come in here, we have new people and just new people that surprise us each and every week. Some people are good at the sand track, some people aren't. And I think that's really going to be a big shakeup here tonight. Obviously, watching from last week, had a couple new faces. Didn't think that we were going to have a couple. One of the big names, Shifty, running out of fuel in race number 1. So that hurt him a lot, where he actually went DNF. Or I think DNF 1. So that's quite a crazy quite crazy difference there. And obviously overall, I think he ended up back there 10th or so. So that is definitely going to be a few names to be watching out for. So to answer that question, or I mean, really, these entire 40 riders could all have an opportunity at the number 1 spot here in the sand. Additionally to that, if you guys are in the streams, hanging out, watching us, make sure you guys are chatting down there. I always appreciate being able to looking at the chat, seeing what we got going on, as that always kind of brings a smile to my face, and being able to communicate with all of the viewers. Absolutely love that. Looks like Real Seaman, is that correct? I like it. Once again, I'm trying to read off a small screen here. Appreciate that follow there, brother. Racing should be starting here in just a few minutes. Just trying to get everybody loaded into the server. Takes a little bit of time to do so. And as always, make sure at the end of our racing action, Thank you to my fiance there. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But as we were talking about it, though, what up, Chol? What up, Real? What's the question? Saying on the road all damn day, no racing for him. I'm sure everybody else is super excited about that one. Just getting a few things dialed in before we get cameras rolling down to our very, very sandy track. If you guys haven't been on the track yet, it is Sardegna, one of the gnarliest tracks that we have throughout the entire season. So definitely going to be one to be keeping an eye on. A lot of new lines, very tricky lines back and forth that these guys are going to be trying to take. If I'm racing a lot, should I have graphics on my bike? Are you talking real life or in-game? I mean, I feel like the answer to that is yes to either or, but you don't need to. You don't need to, but don't listen to Joel. Still trying to figure out this here. Everything just looks a little off. And there we go. Sounds like the horn's going to be going off here for our racing action for Moto number 1. Let's go ahead and kick things on down to the cameras as we get ready to go racing here. As soon as this kicks on over, there we go. Oh, and there it is. Baz Moto. Appreciate the follow there, brother. Farmer, Pipehead, Piphead. Appreciate the follow. Real Seaman. Appreciate those follows, guys. But here we go as we start to get ready for race number 1, seeing all of our riders down there on the gate. Elias, the fastest qualifier of the night. Shifty in that number 2 spot. But here it is. 30-second board has gone sideways as Rev's going to be going up here. Race number 1 underway. And then we do have a sea of orange once again. So we're seeing a bunch of riders piling into this very slippery turn number 1. Once again, apologize for the little disconnection here of some of the riders. Going to be tough with all 40-man gate. But there he is, Nubo from the Ramen Co. Gets a fantastic start here in race number 1. Crawley going to be in that number 2 spot. Big E on the FET Racing KTM in the number 3 spot. Grim on the THM DJD Honda there in the mix, takes the position away from Big E as he moves himself into that top 3. Burger Aragon in the mix as well. There is Seba Sharpo Heildig. Got some interesting names. There's our fastest qualifier, Elias in the mix. Nick MX in there, MXBK from the Trojan team. Dank Rico, the series host, in there. We got Slade. We got Jacko, Green, Bazmoto, Fizzy, and Zert. And that is going to be glancing back in there. A Shifty from the Nexus Co. AJ, an MXL FXR rider. Sinzo in the mix. Another Rico. Gabriel. And once again, going to be a little tricky trying to keep track of where everybody's at, but not tricky though for our race leader here, Nubo on that Ramen Co. looking very clean here on this opening lap. Keeping that bike out of all the carnage as he is starting to run away with this up and over the Charged Cycle Works tabletop as he is heading towards grabbing that green flag here on lap number 1. And there it is. Green flag is out. So we are going racing here. Nubo, almost a 5-second lead here on this opening lap. It is going to be a tough one to try and stop him, especially with those kind of starts as Nubo continues to pull on the rest of this field. Grim on the Honda, now moving himself up into the number 2 position, using the outsides there. Taking a little bit of a safer line, might be a little slower. We got Crawley there in the number 3 spot. We got Berger on that Chrome Star MWS, sorry. He's running strong, but look at that, Grim with a mistake, and just like that, Grim is going to go from the number 2 spot and watch the positions tick away as he struggles to get back moving up that very steep sand face there. Big E in there. Aragon. Elias trying to charge forward. We got Seba. This is going to be Nick and Sharpo battling it out there. It's going to be looking back about 8th and 9th. Jacko going to be running in about that 10th position. Rico from the MXL FXR team running strong in about 12th. We got Slade in 13th. Shifty charging strong forward. Second fastest qualifier here of the night, as he is now moving himself into about that 16th or so position. We got Green in there as well. Ozzy from the Ramen Co. Fizzy, Zertz. Tyrone from the Jester Mika team, not where he thought he was going to be. Dank from the 95 Racing team, and a couple riders getting collected. That is Tyrone, Zertz, and the other Rico, the PFR KTM rider, allowing Gabriel, Zaki, and Amando, I think that's his name there, to reel these guys in a little bit. That's looking all the way back there to in the mid-20s. Couple other riders going down. MXBK still running strong, trying to charge his way forward. But as we jump back out to our front runners, it still is Nubo after that 0 tabletop, who is running very strong. Looks like he is starting to use some of these outsides, being a little smarter, even if it is a little slower. If you can stay off the ground, that is the key to good racing here. Looking back at the number 2 spot, Crawley on that KTM. Not sure if he's a privateer rider or not, but he is absolutely moving here. And Berger from that Chrome Star, though, starting to reel him in. Look at him using the edge of that track to find any bit of smooth ground that he can. Getting that 250 to work well for him. Look at this, Berger setting him up, dives down to the inside, not quite. Cannot get the drive up that DJ Designs double. Thought Berger was going to try and work to that inside. Ends up going a little wide there. And these 250s just wide open pretty much around the entire track, just trying to find any bit of smooth ground that they can. And just like that, Crawley off the side of the track, able to re-enter though in a timely manner, and he continues to charge forward. But it is Nubo, the Ramen Co. rider, who has been absolutely flawless here in race number 1 so far. as he continues to lead this pack around. Running strong as he charges his way past the mechanics area. The battle continues for that number 2 spot. Berger not giving up any ground on Crawley, but these guys gonna have to be careful as our fastest qualifier, the ASRL rider Elias, flies down by the mechanics area and continues to charge forward, seeing if he can eat away at that 17.5-second gap there between him and the number 1 position. Looking just back from these guys, though, is going to be Saba and Jacko, both duking it out there. It is going to be Shifty on that Nexus Code JLM team, trying to charge forward here, see if he can get into the mix. And Grim, who we thought was going to be off to a great start, seems to be struggling here as he continues to try and move forward, but a little off the pace here. Currently, red plate holder is Nubo after grabbing race number 1, or race last week, grabbed the overall. I believe he went 1-2. I could be wrong about that. I think he went about 1-3, 1-4, somewhere in there, but was enough to grab the overall result. And that Shifty works around the inside, back to the outside. Grim able to defend off that charge there. Great ride from Grim as he tries to hold himself inside that top 10. But here comes Ozzy, the Ramenco KTM rider, as he makes his way towards the back of Shifty. And Shifty's gonna go down and gonna be tossing away a couple positions. And that is Ozzy over the top of the berm. And just like we saw with Shifty, a few riders going to be blowing by him around the outside. One of those going to be Rico from that MXL FXR team, series host, as he continues to try and charge forward, currently running in about that 13th, 14th position. Couple Honda riders up here towards the front, Jacko and Grim. THM DJD Honda and an Alpine 7 Honda. Just as we were curious, Elias on the ASRL CDS KTM starting to make a strong charge here as he sits in that number 4 spot, has reeled in the number 3 position here, starting to get within attacking distance as he continues to chew laps off here. About 10.5 minutes to go here in race number 1. Looks like Berger able to kind of space himself out, got around Crawley, and has not looked back since. Looking very strong. About a 10.5-second gap between him and Nubo, though. So even after Berger able to put in some clean laps, has been fighting to try and get that Chrome Star KTM towards the front of this race pack. Benista, appreciate the follow there. Where are our French pilots? Who we got? Basmoto, Aragon, and Leon. So let's take a look as we watch the rest of the riders make their way by. Seeing Jacko back there in that 5th position, still tailed there by Grim in that number 6 spot. Ozzy from the Ramen Co. starting to make his way back around through the pack as his teammate Fizzy goes over the berm. Backflips over the top of Slade as he does sneak his way through. Green, Shifty, Rico all in there. Tyrone from that Jester Mika Husqvarna rider. Zaki Dank, Sharpo Saba, Chiron, I believe that is. Nick, looks like Heidlig trying to get his bike turned around there. Zert's the PWR KTM rider, not where he wants to be at, kind of buried here. There is Rico, the PFR rider, running strong in about that 22nd position. Gabriel from the Elevations team, they're in about 23rd. Amando in the 24th position. Leon in the 25th. Joman from the Normsco FXR ride, not doing so hot here in race number 1. More from the Genesis Performance trying to make a pass there. AJ from the MXL FXR team buried in the back. Sen from the PFR ride, once again buried outside that top 22. Don't know. There's Juan. I think Zio, Luis, and our race leader Nubo. So that is our whole pack there on that lap, about 7.5 minutes into the racing action. But here we are back on board with our race leader Nubo from that Ramen Co team. Has been absolutely dominant so far this year. Like I said, grabs the overall in round number 1. And continues to charge forward, about an 17 second gap now as they cross some timing gates. So it looks like Berger in that number 3 spot is going to be having some issues as Crawley moves his way back into that number 2 position. Berger from the Chrome Star team gonna have to put the burners back on, see if he can catch back up and make the pass on Crawley. Elias from the ASRL CDS team now gonna have his hands full as Jacko and Grim continue to catch up to him, and he could find himself outside the top 5 here very shortly. Both Honda riders almost getting collected there at the exit of that right-hander. Watching Jacko use the outsides of these tracks, trying to carry that momentum on the 250, definitely crucial. And the THM rider starting to get a little impatient here, seeing if he can find a way around any bit of open space. Up the inside, Grim is going to take the line away and moves himself into the number 5 position here over Jacko. We're going to see if Jacko has the opportunity to respond. Gavin, appreciate the follow there. BC, appreciate it. And P4, appreciate those follows, guys. And sorry, guys, I don't have control of when races go up. Look at this, Grim back up the inside after Jacko charged back up. We're going to see a different line here from Jacko up the inside, not quite close enough. And if we look just a little bit forward, it is going to be Elias still running strong. But the next 2 riders, Crawley and Berger, as Berger continues to reel him back in. Looks like maybe a little mistake out of Nubo. That was about a 17-second lead, now back down to about 10 and a half seconds. Look at this, Berger trying to work up the inside, same spot that we saw Grim make the pass on Jacko. And Berger back into the number 2 position. Probably gets a much better drive here, though. Does he have something to say about it? Up the inside and takes the number 2 spot back away from the Chrome Star rider. but he is not done here. Drag race up that Charged Cycle Works tabletop as these guys still continue to duke it out here over the Benton Racing downhill table and into the final turn there, up and over the zero finish line. 3.5 minutes to go here in race number 1. Can Crawley hold on to it? Does Berger have anything left in the tank? And can Elias be a spoiler here, as he is slowly closing that gap in? Gonna be one to be watching out for. Looks like Jacko was able to space himself out away from Grimm, so able to defend off the attack. Green still running his own race here back there in 7th position. Nobody in front of him, nobody behind him. Dank and Zaki duking it out here. The S5 Racing Team rider, or 95, sorry. Just missed it out of the corner of my eye. And Zaki from that Ramenco KTM right there behind him. Looks like Zaki may have him on cuts here, though. Slade on the Kawasaki. And there is Shifty, the Nexus Code JLM rider, in about 11th position, trying to charge forward. Rico, the MXL rider, in the 12th position. Tyrone, the Jester, Mika, Husqvarna rider, there in 13th. Fizzy and Ozzy, 2 teammates duking it out here. Cryon, I think that's it. Cryon in the 16th. Zertz in the 17th. Looks like Saba and Heideldig. I have no idea how to say his name there. Hildig. So we were watching these guys duke it out there. BC, this is our moto number 1 of the Pro-Am class for the MXL series. Zaki and Dank still duking it out, and look at this. These guys have been pushing the pace, have reeled in Green, who we thought was in the middle of no man's land, now has Zaki and Dank both right there on the rear tire. Green gonna be doing everything he can to hold on to that position. So we see 2 different lines there. Green going to the outside, Zaki and Dank choosing slightly different lines. Dank runs right into the back of Zaki. Both riders able to stay up. Oh, and Green almost goes down, opens the door. Zaki gonna make the pass into the number 7 position. Green there in the 8th, and Dank now gonna be trying to size up the Husqvarna rider to see if he can continue to ride the tailcoat of Zaki. And I gotta say too, looking back up inside our top 3, Nubo holding on to about an 8.5 second lead in the number 1 spot. Crawley was able to move himself back up into the number 2, overtaking Berger again. And Elias still holding strong in that number 4 spot. Jacko in the 5th, Grimm 6th. As we just saw, Zaki made the pass for the 7th position. Green in the 8th. Dank in 9th, and there is the Nexus co-rider Shifty, who has, at least on cuts, has moved himself into the number 9 spot. And just like that, white flag is out though, so we are on our final lap. See if we can find our race leaders Elias in there making his way through some lap traffic. Berger, Crawley. So Berger able to regain that number 2 position. And I believe there he is, Nubo, the Ramen Co rider, still running in that number 1 spot. Must have had a few rough laps as those guys were able to reel him in just a little bit after catching wind that those guys were starting to close that gap in. Has picked the pace back up, and on this final lap just trying to bring it home as we have about 3 or 4 corners left. Over the Benton Racing tabletop one more time. And it is going to be Nubo. The Ramen Co rider gets it done here. Race number 1. Great ride from Nubo. Rode very consistent, very clean the entire race. Gabriel, a lapped rider in the mix. There he is. Berger, the Chrome Star KTM rider, comes across the line in the number 2 position. Not sure what happened to Tyrone as he fell off the pace. Crawley retired out. Not quite sure what happened there. Elias is going to move himself into the number 3 position. And down to the final wire, Jacko up the inside and is going to take the number 4 spot away from Grimm. Shifty working on Zachy here. And Zachy in the 6th, Shifty 7th. I believe that was Green there in 8th. Dank 9th, but Fizzy has him on cuts. Ozzy in the 11th, and Rico, the MXL rider, comes across in 12th. Slade inserts down to the wire. And it is going to be Slade, Cryon, and then Zertz. Saba in the 16th. Hildig on that Dignitas ride in 17th. Amando up the final jump in 18th. We have a 3-rider battle here. Sen, Nick, and Sharpo all across the line at the same time. Sharpo, Nick, Sen, AJ is in that top 22. Rico, the PFR rider, in 23rd. Leon comes across the line there in 24th. Joman down in that final turn as he makes his way across in the 25th position. Cinzio on the ASRL racing team there in 26th. And I'm pretty sure that is going to be everybody on the lead lap. I could be wrong. Well, I think that is going to do it. Looks like Moore may have quit, ran out of gas. Not quite sure what he's doing over there. Unfortunately, though, a couple of our top guys, Crawley retiring out, MXBK, Big E, Tyrone. So big names not finishing out race number 1. Artemas, appreciate the follow there. MVBR Motorsports, appreciate the follows, guys. We're going to give the riders just a minute here as these guys catch a breather and start to get ready for race number 2. There is Shifty on that Nexus Code team. Seeing what kind of kits we got. Nubo's gear looking very clean on that TLD gear. MXL rider AJ. A couple of the Ramen Co guys hanging out, talking it over. And as always, make sure you guys aren't going anywhere as we get ready for race number 2, which is going to be starting here in any moment. Take a look at the MXL Rival Inc. FXR rider, AJ. As always, shout out to our track creators for always building such these beautiful tracks, beautiful landscapes, all of the models and everything that goes into it. Huge shout out to those guys, obviously, that you guys see on the track each and every week. Huge shout out to all the sponsors that make all of this possible. Everybody that you see across the line here. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday afternoon. I don't know any better way to relieve some of that Monday stress, whether it be work or school, than coming to hanging out in special media, watching some great racing action, especially at one of the most gnarliest tracks of the entire year. And we get it round number 2. But I think there it is. Horn is going to be going off as we get ready to go racing for race number 2. Let's go ahead and sit up here on the flagging tower. Let's see if we can watch turn number 1 here. As always, if you guys aren't following, make sure you guys hit that follow button. Don't want to miss any of the racing action as we continue through this MXBGP racing series, as well as the PCK series. If you guys are looking for a Supercross series, that is an absolute blast. Make sure you guys check them out. PCK, ran by the Charged Cycle Work crew, tracks created by Patron. But enough yapping here as we get ready to go racing race number 2 of our Pro-Am class. Who is going to be grabbing our whole shot? Gate is down and we are going racing. Can Nubo do it again? Gets a good start, but gets clipped. And it is going to be Shifty. Grabs our whole shot here in race number 2. And he has Tyrone, the Jester Mika rider, right on his rear tire. And he is a very fast rider, so Shifty has his work cut out for him. Tyrone over the top of the berm, able to re-enter the track cleanly, though. Amato, sorry, I've probably been saying that wrong the whole time, on the TRT FR Kawasaki, now into the number 3 position. Jacko on the Alpine 7 Honda in the mix as well. Berger on that Chrome Star KTM, a much better start this time around. Sharpo in the mix. He'll dig on the Dignitas EZR Honda ride. Zaki from the Ramen Co in the mix. AJ from the MXL FXR ride, sitting up inside that top 10. Amato down on the Kawasaki. Couple riders going to be making their way by. As we see Sen, Dank, Rico all right in the mix. Nick, MX on the Husqvarna battling it out there with Lillian from the, what is that? Propulse MX crew. Look at that, Zaki and Hilde getting tangled up, gonna collect another rider. And Rico, the MXL FXR rider, trying to get around a few of these guys, was just outside the top 10. Race number 1 gonna be looking to improve here, but that is not the start that he wanted. And Nubo, our race 1 winner, absolutely buried here early on in moto number 2. But as we leap out to the front here, it is going to be Jacko on the Alpine 7. Honda grabs the green flag. As we get into the racing action, Shifty tries to make a look around the outside, and he is getting the Poboso physics like no other. So now into the number 2 spot, Berger. We know he has the pace. Can he make a pass here early on and start to run away with this one? We are going to have to see. Tyrone, once again, a much better start from him, able to continue to charge forward. AJ on that MXL FXR KTM ride in the number 4th position. Amato starting to charge his way back up after a little bit of a tip over on lap number 1. Has his hands full with Sen there. And Shifty, after that mistake, now has his work cut out for him back there in 7th position, and has a Ramenko rider right there behind him. Ooh, the PFR rider goes down hard and is gonna collect his teammate Rico. Opens the door for a couple riders to squeak by. That is gonna be Fizzy and Rico. Nick as well. Take a look at our TRTFR TCG Kawasaki rider Amato here, running a much better ride here in that 5th position. AJ down, gonna open the door, so one more position for him here as he moves himself into the number 4 position. But he has company of the Nexus co-rider Shifty on the Husqvarna, looking to make a move up the inside. Not quite close enough to make anything happen, but gonna show him a wheel and let him know that he is there. So we look back to our race leader Berger in that number 1 spot. Jacko still running strong in the number 2 position, but under attack from the Jester team rider Tyrone. And Shifty makes a very smart move up the inside and is going to take the number 4 spot away from Amato as he continues to still run a very strong race here in race number 2. Sharpo and Fizzy, 2 teammates once again duking it out, and Shifty has more issues. And Shifty just struggling to keep that bike on 2 wheels as he watches the positions tick away. As that is going to be Dank and Rico making the pass around him. So that is going to put Shifty outside the top 10. Zertz, the PWR rider, now making his way inside that top 15, about 11th there. MXBK from the Trojan team, looking to continue his way forward through this pack. Gonna see what he can do. Looks like Nick and AJ duking it out there. And Green, who we thought was going to be a much stronger ride here in race number 2, had a much better start, and he is finding himself buried back here in about 19th. Not where he wants to be. Zachy, the Ramaco rider, in that 20th position. Elias, our fastest qualifier, 21st, more in the 22nd position. Gabriel in that 23rd. Joman in the 24th position. Sinizio, I think that's how you would say his name. Running in about the 26, 27 spot. Grim, who had a much better race number 1, struggling here in race number 2. And the man that won race 1, won our week 1 or round 1, is absolutely buried here, almost into the 30s, as he still tries to fight his way through this pack. As we can see, if he does not have clean air, he definitely seems to struggle. We're going to see if he can put on a late race charge. Still have about 12 and a half minutes to go here, so still plenty of time to make up some ground. We start to move our way back towards the front of this pack. It is going to be Sharpo running in that 5th position, as the MXL rider AJ in the 7th, right there behind him. Fizzy in the mix in the 6th position. That is going to be Zertz in 8th. Dank going to be the 9th place rider. He'll dig on that Honda in 11th. Sen, Nick. Who's that? Ozzy on that Ramenco around the outside. MXBK off the side of the track, able to hold on to it though. And Amato, who is running very strong here at the beginning of this race, seems to just be having issues alongside Shifty as these guys continue to fall, now outside the top 15. It's amazing how close all these riders are still packed together on such a gnarly track here. As we are already looking back at about 25th position on screen. Let's see if we can make our way to our front runners. These guys continue to absolutely put burners down. There it is, the battle for the lead. Tyrone, what a time to revisit these guys, as Tyrone makes his way into that number 1 spot. Looks like there might be some cuts involved, so Tyrone gonna have to try and run away with this just a little bit to open that gap up on Berger here. But what we know, Tyrone, a very fast rider throughout the previous seasons and series that we have watched him in. And Berger from race number 1 able to grab that number 2 spot, so he is currently looking at the overall here. Our overall is going to be all over the place. The only one that I do know of, though, is this Chrome Star rider, Berger, who has stayed consistent both races, and that is how you get it done. These guys 18 seconds out in front of the number 3 spot, as we have a full-on battle for it. Rico, Jacko, and Fizzy all right there together for the number 3 position. And just shortly behind them is going to be Sharpo. Zertz going down, AJ, and he is going to collect Dank with him. Nick, Hildig, and Ozzy all in the mix as well. Cryon. And there is Shifty. So Shifty still trying to charge his way forward up into about the 14th position now, as he has made his way by Sen, Rico, and the rest of the riders here. MXBK, Zachy. That is more from the Genesis team. Joman, Amato, Grim, Gabriel, and Elias in that 20th position or so. And Noob Nubo, our race 1 winner, trying to still charge forward. Looks like he is about up to the 23rd position. Still not where he wants to be, though, as he has a long way to go to the front of the pack. Let's see if we can't find our race lead battle here. These guys way out in front, as these two have been absolutely flying here. 1 and 2 only separated by half a second. Trying to pull up some live timing. Give me 1 second here. See if we can get these guys lap times. Put our camera in a good spot that we can watch this battle for half a second here. So as it sits right now, fastest guys on track are our 1 and 2 position, and Tyrone holds on to the fastest lap time right now, a 1:59.18. And in that number 2 spot, Berger with a 2 flat. So these guys really about a half a second off each other in terms of fastest lap. Now that obviously does not count each and every lap, as these guys continue to roll through, seeing who can stay the most consistent throughout each and every lap of this grueling track. As we're seeing a couple mistakes here out of Berger. Just kind of glancing at it too, it looks like Tyrone does have about 2 seconds of cuts. Berger has 1, so there is a 1 second difference between our race leader in the number 2 spot. 2.5 seconds on track as well, so that is going to be some time that Berger needs to make up here if he wants an opportunity at the race win. And it makes you wonder, is Berger's team, that Chrome Star Racing team, are they giving him pointers, letting him know that he does have the overall in the bag if he stays right where he is? Have they done the math? Is that in the back of his head? Does he let Tyrone run away with this one? 35, 36 seconds back to the number 3 position. So these guys pretty much have it on lock of 1 and 2. As we continue back a little bit here, see where that number 3 spot is. Looks like it is Jacko who goes down just as we start to talk about him. Zertz and Fizzy right there to try and capitalize. And Zertz is now going to move his way into that number 3 spot, but Jacko not quite done, as he is going to be fighting for that number 3 position. Neither rider letting off through that long rolling whoop section. I would say almost our entire 3 through 10 all right there together. One mistake could be detrimental to any of these riders' race. With still 5 minutes here to go in race number 2. Seeing where everybody is at, we are watching Sharpo make his way back down that start straight. Hildig, Ozzy, Nick, Sen, Dank from the 95 racing team, Rico, the MXL FXR rider, back there in about 12th position. AJ and Zaki right there, that is 13th and 14th. Shifty in that 15th position. Elias starting to make a charge here later in the race in 16th. Rico from the PFR team in 17th. Grim 18th. Sinzo in that 19th. Our rider Amato from the TRT ride in 20th. And a whole pile of riders. Nubo is going to get the lucky side of that and dodges right by. And that is going to be about 4 positions all in one turn for our race 1 winner, as he still continues to charge forward. Looks like another rider down, so that is another position for him. And Elias on the ground, so these guys making it easy for the Ramico rider as he goes over the bars. And a lot of the work that he just put in is going to be thrown right out the door. Seeing in that opposite lane, the number 3 spot of Zert starting to pull away just a little bit from the number 4 spot of Fizzy and 5 spot of Jacko. Those guys still right there together. There is 6. Sorry. That is going to be Ozzy, Sen, and Sharpo. Yeah, 6, 7, and 8. 9, 10 all right there together. Ooh, and Sen over the bars, gonna collect Nick with him, and Dank all the way around the outside grabs a 2-for-1 as he crosses over the finish line there. Rico flicking the camera off as he comes over the finish line. Shifty down hard before the finish line, and it looks like he is going to retire out of our race here tonight. And that is going to be another free spot for Nubo as he still continues to charge forward. Sinizzo goes down, so does Nubo. And Saba gonna move up the inside there, makes a pass. Nubo, though, is a bully and moves him right out of the way. Couple riders getting tangled up. Sinizzo, who we thought was running good, just within 2 turns is gonna drop about 5 positions. And that's like we talk about each and every week. Is you have to stay consistent, and that is going to be the key. And huge shout out to you guys, everybody that's hitting that follow button. Looks like we just pick up a new one there, IMR1UB. Appreciate the follow there, brother. 880 follower guys. You guys have been absolutely killing it. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate it. Big Hoss, appreciate the follow there, brother. Gonna keep an eye out back here towards the back of the pack, seeing what we got going on, any of the racing action. Gonna slide over to our other side here as Sen, Zaki, and our man Dank, who have been at it almost all day long, I will say. Even race 1, these guys were near each other, and we're seeing them go back at it again here in race number 2. 2 laps to go. Zaki on the ground. Dank able to skate over the top of his bike and escape danger. Look at that, Zaki just rebounds right back up to the rear tire of Dank. That is the battle there going on for the number 9 and 10 spot. We got Grim here, who has started to make his way further up the pack into the number 12 position. Looking at our number 3 spot here of Zertz on that PWR MWS KTM ride. You can see the mullet sticking out the back of the helmet, letting it all hang out here. And white flag is out for our race leader of Tyrone, who is 21 seconds out in front of the rest of our field here. Gonna see where he is at. There he is. The Jester Mika Husqvarna rider, moto number 2, a much better performance and exactly what we thought we were gonna see from him. So as he makes his way around this very treacherous track one more time, still gonna have to try and navigate through 21 seconds, a pretty big gap to that number 2 spot. But as we all know, in the game of MX bikes, anything can happen. Just like that, another mistake out of him. Just needs to get that bike to the finish line. Over the DJ Designs. I don't even know what you call these. They're not tabletops. They're not doubles. Jump. That one's a double or triple. But it is Tyrone. Few more corners to go over the Charge Cycle Works tabletop one more time. 2 more turns for Tyrone as he is looking to grab race number 2 here. And it is going to be the Jester Mika Husqvarna rider. Tyrone gets it done in race number 2. Great ride from him there. Able to make his way around the very fast Chrome Star rider Berger as he is going to be charging his way in. I do believe, if my math is correct, Berger's going to grab the overall here, throws the heel clicker over the finish line. And great ride from that Chrome Star MWS rider. The number 3 spot, very hard fought and all the way down to the line. Jacko right there, but it is Zertz on the PWR. Jacko from the Alpine team in 4th. Fizzy from that Ramen Co team in the number 5 position. Seems to be pumped about that one. I most definitely would be. Ozzy from that Ramen Co in 6th. Hildig from the Dignitas EZR ride in 7th. Zaki Sen all the way down to the line. Ooh, it's going to be Sharpo in 8th. Sen 9th. Zaki 10th. Grim in 11th. Dan can be coming across the line there in 12th. Going to be looking for the rest of our riders. Looks like we have Nubo, a race 1 winner, 13th in moto number 2. AJ, the MXL FXR rider, 14th. Rico from the PFR team in 15th. And a bunch of riders, MXBK, Amato, and Seba, Sinizo, Seba, Nick in the 20th. Joman comes across the line in 20th. Nick falling back a few spots. Elias, Rico, not the ending that he wanted to have there. Loris, Medard. But I do believe that is going to do it for race number 2. Don't think we have anybody else on track. What an absolutely fantastic race that we had here tonight. Race 1 and 2. A lot of racing action all the way through the whole pack. Couple race leaders able to escape some of the chaos and get that clean air, like we call it in the car racing world, and start to run away with it. We see Tyrone. We saw Nubo do it in race number 1. But we are going to go ahead. We're going to hang out here for just a minute. See what we got for our overall results. Like I said, this is going to be an interesting one to see where everything lines up as soon as we get our overall standings in. If you guys would like to, make sure you guys join up on the Special Media Discord. Get yourselves in on the podium. Shout out the sponsors. Shout out everybody that makes it possible for you to be racing here. And once again, make sure that you're shouting out the people that matter to you. I know it's just a video game, but a lot of us spend a lot of time when it comes to this game, so Make sure you guys are giving credit where credit is due. We're going to kick things on back down to the booth here as we wait for our final results. Once again, I do think Burger, is going to grab the overall. Could be wrong. Could be wrong here. But if Burger, if you're kicking around, if anybody knows of the guys that may be inside that top 3, make sure they're joining into special media. Have them join on in on the podium. Like I said, we'll get a quick word, see how the race went for them. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for round number 2 here at Sardegna. What an absolutely gnarly track. One of the gnarliest tracks that I honestly see probably in the entire of motocross, but especially here in the MXBGP series. Joeman, what is going on, brother? How are we doing? Haven't seen that name in quite a while. Hope you're doing well. Envy Sharpo, congratulations, brother. Getting his first top 10 in a moto. Let's go. Tyrone said he's mad. Yes, sir. Everything has been going absolutely fantastic here, man. Here in special media, been absolutely killing it, having a blast doing what we love to do. Getting to watch all the racing action and not having to stress about it. Sharpo saying got P8, qualified P40th. Nah. Why are you 5th wicked into turn 1? Why are you going so fast? But there it is. So overall results are in. Burger on the Chrome Star MWS KTM is going to be grabbing that number 1 spot overall. Great ride from him, staying consistent and staying up inside that podium positions. Is going to grab that number 1 spot for him. Jacko from the Alpine 7 team on the Honda CRF 250R is going to grab that number 2 spot. And it is going to be Nubo from that Ramen Co team. It grabs that number 3 position. So still, even after a rough race number 2, able to put that KTM up on top into the podium positions. So as always, you 3 guys, if you would like, make sure you guys join up on the special media Discord. Join into the podium voice channel. Get a quick word from you. And like I said, we will go ahead and wrap things up. If we don't have anybody joining in, and we'll probably call it a night. So we'll give it just a few minutes. We'll go ahead and we'll run through some of the sponsors. As always, the MXL crew doing a fantastic job at everything that these guys do. All the series that they run have been absolutely killing it. I think actually they are doing some prizes for today as well. Let me double check on that. So the all in-game stuff, I believe. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Don't want to misspeak here. Oh, there's a giveaway. That's right. In tonight's podium. Where is it? There it is. So podium prizes for tonight. The number 1 spot, Burger going to be getting an MXL Rival Link KTM and FXR 25.5 podium gear set. Absolutely fantastic. All made there by Strider. As well in that number 2 spot, FXR podium gear set. And in the number 3 spot is well going to be getting the FXR gear set. Those guys have been absolutely killing it. Recently sponsored in by the FXR crew. So those guys, make sure you guys are checking out their Discord. Is all the stuff that they've been making and creating is phenomenal. As well, huge shout out to all of the special media sponsors, starting right up in front. MXL, these guys have been killing it. TPR, AB Customs, Speed Photography, VM Visuals, TH Visuals, Thunder, is he is the man. I apologize. I threw on my old overlay that I had. I don't have his logo on there. Make sure we'll have it there for next week. Does look like we have Burger, though, joining in. Let's go ahead and grab a quick word from our overall winner. Burger, how are we doing, brother?
Spectacular, bro. I was shaking.
I mean, man, just staying consistent, staying smooth. That was key here tonight. I mean, really take us through race number 2, because I think that's where it all kind of came down to it. Did you know you had the number 1 spot in that race?
Yeah, I had the stream open and I forgot to mute it, and I heard that Nubo was like way back. So I was like, oh, well then I can just let Tyrone go and just hold second. And so that was pretty much it. I just got a good start. I got lucky on the start and just
I mean,
kept it going.
There was some absolute carnage there. Turn number 1, saw that you came out on a good start and knew that you had the pace to be running up front. And obviously, clearly, you did. Rode very good, very strong, and able to get it done for the overall. Take us through the track. I mean, it seems like a very gnarly one. Do you like sand tracks? Is this not your strong point? What's your thoughts on it?
It was really bad. Like, that sucked at the end there. It was really rough. Sand tracks are definitely my favorite thing to ride. So that's like my wheelhouse, if anything. So
okay,
it's really fun. Great track. It was really rough. It was brutal at the end there.
Was it the E-Road or?
Yeah, the E-Road, and just like, it's kind of just, there's a lot of bumps. I was getting a lot of chatter in the suspension. It was difficult with the E-Road.
Interesting. Yeah. On stream, it doesn't look that bad, but I could only imagine this gnarly of a sand track just getting destroyed in the E-Road.
Yeah. And it's really not the whole track. It's just a few spots where it's just, everyone's hitting that same spot and it really digs down there.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you still you got it done, brother. Anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's racing?
Just the Chrome Star team, bunch of great dudes over there. We ride all the time, and if I wouldn't be as fast as I was if I didn't have those guys to ride with. So all goes out to Shmooey and everybody else over there.
I say it looks like we got Hot Wheels in the chat shouting out.
Yep. Shout out Hot Wheels.
Awesome, brother. Well, once again, congratulations on that number 1 spot. Consistency paid off for you, and you got it done. Hopefully, we'll catch you here. What are we racing next week, or do we got weeks off? I know the calendar's a little off.
I'm not sure, but I'll be there.
Awesome, brother. Well, as always, great seeing you up here. Great talking to you. Hope you have a great rest of your night, man. And like I said, we'll catch you next week.
All right, sounds good. See you.
Yep. Peace, man. All right. So that was the number 1 spot. Always great to have at least somebody up here on the podium as we kick it back into the booth here for one final time. As always, huge shout out to everybody for hanging out with us. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for hitting that follow button. Everybody that hits the subscribe, you guys are awesome. You are the reason why we do this. As we still trend to the 1,000 mark of followers, make sure you guys are having all the notifications on, tuning in to all of the racing action that we have each and every week. Make sure that you guys are staying tuned. Tomorrow, we got right back to the same track, same series, but for our amateur class. So make sure you guys are tuning in tomorrow for all of our racing action, as well as PCK on Thursday. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your afternoon. Have a great and fantastic week, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Baby, when we touch, feels like you are meant to take on